Bonjour, bonsoir, JCB Live, Wine Style with Donnell. And look at today, if I give her the forbidden apple, you know, she promised she would show her beautiful new shoes. So this is the launch of fall. Look at those beautiful legs, because Donnell only makes a drink with great legs, which is very important. And those gorgeous flowers that defines fall. So thank you, Donnell, for showing us one of the most beautiful part of you. In exchange, the forbidden apple.
Am I supposed to bite it?
Absolutely. Then all your wishes will eventually happen. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
So today, dear friends, this is so thrilling. We're back with the fall. It's all about the great season of the leaf falling to the ground and that great foliage turning the fire and all those great drinks that we're going to be dreaming of to make, because we're going to spend even more time than ever together. And this fruit, can you imagine, and we'll talk about it a lot today, is one of the most mystical fruit of all time. Maybe you don't know this. It was discovered in 2000 BCs in the mountain of Kazakhstan. And then guess what happened? The Egyptian again, the Greeks, and the Romans were very clever to bring back those seeds, and then got obviously all over Europe. And it really became something amazing as a great drink to make, and a great fermented drinks as well. And needless to say, apple cider. We're gonna have a great friend soon on the JCB Live that makes one of the best cider on the planet. And of course, we here in Napa, Sonoma, where some of the best apples are from. Let's never forget the famous Gravenstein apple of Sonoma, and all that really made the second part of what we'll talk about is how did apple came to America. But we'll leave that for the second part with Rafael. And now, Donnell, what do you have as a mystical forbidden drink?
I did a lot of research actually on apples and what would go good with it. So I've come up with two.
Ooh.
That will be a surprise for you. Caramel is one of my favorite flavors. Love caramel. I eat it all year, not just, you know, during the fall and during the holidays. So we're gonna do a salted caramel martini.
Ooh, I've never
with
had
apples.
that.
Salted caramel apple martini.
Wow.
I didn't think you had had one of those. And then we're gonna do a apple gin fizz.
It might be my favorite of the two, but I'm giving the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
So, I know you love caramel on your donut, as you showed us. It was quite lavish.
I do.
If you haven't seen it, go back to the Wine Style. Donnell was leaking the caramel with the donut. It was quite a show. Donnell in all his spirits.
Love caramel. Okay, so
yes,
we are going to, I love to decorate glasses.
Yes.
I love to do garnish, and I love flavor on the rim.
Yes.
I just do. So we're gonna do some melted caramel on the rim of a martini glass.
I gotta tell you, Donnell, we had a lot of comment on your beautiful hairstyle the other day.
Which one?
And when it was long and wild and crazy, I love how you've actually bundled them like a little apple on top of your head. I feel like Guillaume Tell. You remember mine with the archery, and he put it on the beautiful woman and he said, I aim so well that the arrow will go through. So maybe I should try that if we do that on top. Maybe.
And you want to shoot an arrow through it. I'm game for that. So after you put the caramel, you're going to dip it into sea salt. So it makes a really, really beautiful rim on your glass.
That looks marvelous.
Okay, so we're gonna put that aside.
And it's great to actually mix the salt with the sugar of the caramel, right? So you want
Well, it
both.
gives it that great flavor. How, you know, like they do a lot of salted caramel chocolates nowadays.
Yes.
And that salt with the caramel is just, I love it. So we're gonna use the JCB Gin, of course.
Aha.
And
So JCB Gin, dear friends, if you haven't heard about it, but I'm sure you have, it's fermentation of Chardonnay Pinot Noir. We make wine and then we distill it. And then we add the juniper and then over 45 different herbs and organic plants from France. So it's made it in Burgundy. And it's one of the best gin in the world. And I don't say that because we make it. We made it with that intention. And I think it really gives you that great London dry gin feel, that juniper presence, but with a lot of aroma around. So whether Donnell or, of course, Rafael do a lot of things with it in the kitchen because it has so much of a diverse plant base. So the highest plant concentration of old gin in the world today.
So I used 2 ounces of the gin, and I'm going to use 1 ounce of sweet vermouth. And then I'm going to pour about, this is some more caramel. Maybe
I thought it was honey.
a half a tablespoon of caramel. And then we're going to shake it really good to make sure the caramel gets all mixed in. And the color, you're going to see it's so fall.
Let's make sure everybody can see that because it looks very sensual. Look at that. Oh. I can smell all the way from here the association of the apple and the caramel. God, we want to start a fire and maybe a little cigar.
I know.
Is that a cigar? Feels like it.
Okay, you ready?
Is it for me?
That's for you.
This is a gift from Donnell. First, dear friends, which is so cool, is the gin is lifting everything else. So you have the richness of the caramel, no question about it. I know, Rafael, you're right here, you're jealous. It's outstanding.
Great with the salt?
I love it.
Okay.
I love it with the salt. I was a little worried about that, mixing the salt and the caramel to that level, but as well it gives some crystal energy to the mouth because it's crystal salt, which makes it dancing and moving on the palate, richness, delicacy, and you feel the contribution of the gin. So what I'm always afraid, as many of you are the same, when you have such a high level of spirits, is all the fruits and the caramel and everything you make as a cocktail going to dumb it down and you're not going to feel the quality of your spirits. Here, on the opposite, you're lifting it. I'm giving it 100%.
100%.
100 points.
Great score.
Maybe 110.
Okay.
You see those blue eyes just make me lose my sense of mathematics.
Okay, so you ready for the second one?
I'm ready.
Okay, we'll do this and then we'll go to Rafael to do some
Well, and I
apple.
want to save it to be able to enjoy
saving.
it with the desserts.
Okay, so this is going to be your apple cinnamon gin fizz. And again, I love to do garnish and decoration on the rim. So I'm just gonna take one of my apples that you'll see I'm gonna use for later. I'm gonna get that a little bit wet. And I'm gonna dip it in a cinnamon sugar mixture.
Ooh, this is very nice. So that's the cinnamon mixture.
Right. Then I made, usually I have Rafael make it because he's always, over at the stove in the oven, but I made it myself. I made an apple cinnamon infused simple syrup.
Oh, can I try it pure?
Yes.
Do you mind?
So it was 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a whole apple sliced up.
I think it's so important to make it instead of buying it. Right? Oh, so pure. And that's the beauty is you have the organic, obviously apple coming from the orchard of Raymond.
It's delicious.
It's absolutely delicious.
Reminds
the
me
viscosity of it, the density or the richness.
Right.
I mean, coats your mouth. Now you're ready for a French kiss. Oh, did I say that?
So we're gonna do 2 ounces of the gin.
Maybe we should give that to Patrick and his wife because we understand this association brings fertility in the air.
Maybe she's already fertile and pregnant.
Well,
you never know.
We're gonna have to ask her.
So 2 ounces of the gin, and then we're gonna do.
We're having so much fun, We all here together.
1 ounce of this.
It's so much fun. And today we had a surprise visit of Ilona too, who is here with her
That's
husband.
right.
And she's going to be enjoying those cocktails, and we're going to lose her to spirits rather than wine. We hope not.
Okay, you're going to stir that up.
Yeah.
And then you're going to add...
I got to say, I'm addicted
ice.
to this.
Isn't it delicious?
A lot of sugar, though. Not too bad.
It's all sugar.
Oh, it's all
sugar. So add the ice carefully.
See, I was trying to have her lie to me because,
Never.
it's very important not to tell yourself the truth when you do those cocktails because there's a few calories. So just convince yourself there's none.
Okay, now I have to grab something.
This is really already feeling like Thanksgiving or Halloween, the holidays. This is so exciting. And cinnamon obviously bring that to life.
Okay, so now you're going to add
Tonic water.
club soda.
Club soda.
Soda water. Soda water. You're going to stir this up.
God.
And add a couple of slices of apple.
Mm-hmm. You want to put this one?
And a cinnamon stick for garnish.
Look at that.
And there you have it.
This is gorgeous.
The gin apple fizz.
And look at this beautiful color mirroring the apple. You see, Donnell is all about color coordination and bringing the cinnamon, and those full colors are so inviting and warm and exciting. Can I taste it?
You can taste it. I think this would be a good one for maybe right before, early afternoon, maybe making Thanksgiving dinner. It's refreshing. It's not heavy. And you could drink several of them probably.
That's right.
And be okay.
So would you make it in a big jar and have people just enjoy it that way?
I mean, you could. You absolutely could.
This is very nice.
Yeah.
And again, they both complement each other, as you just said. One in the afternoon or early evening and one with dessert.
Correct.
God, dear friends, I think it's time to applaud for Donnell.
Oh, thank you.
Does she deserve really the forbidden apple and the full meaning of it? You got to do another bite though. She did it. To Adam and Eve, and of course, the beauty continuing with our Adam of the kitchen, Rafael. Let's go.
So I have a bit of a confession. Was this drink terrible? Because
I loved it.
well, you're crazy because I forgot the main ingredient. I forgot the apple cider in it to celebrate, apple of my eye and all of that.
Well, I felt it was very rich,
Very strong.
dense, a little strong. But I looked at those beautiful blue eyes and I have to say it's fabulous.
Okay, so we're gonna do.
So that's the apple juice you actually made.
Yes.
Let me try it.
And yes.
I gotta try your ingredients. From the syrup to...
That's
so funny.
You're the best. You just would tell me anything is great just to be nice. I have a feeling. I don't know.
Well, no. I would always be very honest. That's going to add a whole new dimension.
It adds a little bit more color to it too.
It seems like it's when I do cocktails, I always forget something. So for once.
Okay, so 2 ounces of the gin.
Mm-hmm. All right.
1 ounce of the vermouth, which I will get. And we're going to do...
It's quite a session today.
Out of practice.
It's the excitement of the fall.
Okay.
Here's the vermouth.
Here's the vermouth, 1 ounce of the vermouth.
And we're using my lovely wife's vermouth. So
we are.
She's
Spreading
very
the love.
excited. The Gallo vermouth.
Okay. And you're going to do about a half of a cup.
No, it's okay.
Okay, half a cup of the apple cider.
I'm so glad we needed apple juice or apple cider?
Apple cider is what I used. That's what we made.
Ooh.
And then the caramel. Okay, we're going to try this again.
It's fun. It's even more creative that way.
Let's see how much darker it is now.
Ooh.
Okay.
Look at this color. It's one of those days, right?
Glued.
Ooh. She just did it on purpose to get my attention.
Okay.
Ooh.
So it's got that cider color to it.
Yeah, even nicer color actually.
Right.
So when we put the two together, this is quite miraculously
I need you to
beautiful.
taste it now that it's made properly.
More acidity.
It's drinkable now.
I like both options. If I had to choose, I like the last one better.
Because there's no juice. Because there's
I'm
no
joking.
juice.
They're both amazing. I would give this one 120 points.
The last was what, 110?
Yeah.
Okay, so
we
definitely
better
add the juice.
Thank you, Donnell. This was so much fun. Now with our majestic Rafael. So dear friends, I started to tell you the story about the apple from Kazakhstan. Now place yourself early 17th century, Jamestown, fabulous, lovely little village in 1607. The first apple seeds came in the United States. And it lived an amazing story that it became one of the favorite fruit of the Americans. And then came Thomas Jefferson, who said, we will be one country when we stretch from one ocean to the other, and we will be a great country when we can harvest apple in every state of America. And it was brilliant. This is what the English had done, the French had done, as you know, because we make Calvados, we make cider. It's a very big drink in Europe and a big fruit. And America did the same. And from obviously the East Coast to the West Coast, we started to cultivate apples. Many great recipes were born thanks to this, among the one we're going to make today. So, Rafael, what are you going to surprise us with?
Oh, today we're going to make, it's the time of the year, we're going to make a apple crisp. Yeah. And then we're going to be using, I like to use Granny Smith, the green
Really?
apple. Yeah, because they have more tartness, and it's more, I like this one better for baking or...
I see. So Donnell was using, of course, the fantastic and well-known Gravenstein apple that we harvest here at Raymond and in Sonoma. And now we're going to do Granny Smith.
This one with the Granny Smith. We're lucky, that we have a beautiful garden just right behind us.
And we have them too.
Yep, both. Yeah. This was the last ones of the season. Season's almost over, but I was lucky to find a few.
So when you harvest your apple, if you have trees, you already know this. But if you don't, I've done that all my childhood. You harvest the apples, you pull them into a little basket, you put newspaper at the base, and you let them age in the attic at the temperature control. Or if you have a great wine cellar, that's what my parents have done since I was born. That's where they keep them, and you could keep an apple for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And all winter, my grandmother used to make amazing apple tart, apple pies.
The tarte tatin.
Tarte tatin, of course. We need to do one of those.
We should do that one. Yeah. We'll do the next video.
So we paired with it a Côtes du Rhône. So it's exciting because chef is using, as you could see, cane sugar. He's going to use, I'm sure, a little cinnamon. And is that lovely caramel and honey?
That's some maple syrup.
Maple syrup, even better. So it's going to go very well with the spice of the Côtes du Rhône. This Côtes du Rhône is Grenache predominant, which brings a lot of richness, a lot of intensity. And that beautiful color, I think, that goes very well. So a lot of people with tarte tatin, tarte, apple tart, and even apple crisp use dessert wines or even white wines with high intense ripeness. I love using Côtes du Rhône. Yeah. It's a great wine, and it obviously brings Grenache, Cinsault, and a little bit of Syrah into the blend. And remember, this is our wonderful estate in the south of France, in the southern Rhône, Bonpas, which was founded in 1318. So this is an old monastery where the monks used to live and make wine. So very, very cool. As you can see on the back, engraved bottle, founded in 1318. And you could see this amazing Chartreuse de property on the front. So as well, we bring a lot of history to it. And we're going to pair it as well with, on the latter part, with the DeLoach Pinot, because those two wines go very well with desserts.
Yeah, let's go.
So chef, yes.
Let's do this. So for this one, for this recipe, this is the ingredients I'm going to be using, right? Using brown sugar, oats, almonds, flour, maple syrup, butter, and a touch of salt. right?
Butter and butter.
Butter and better gets them better and better, right? So all these ingredients right here it's gonna be for the topping. The apples, brown sugar, and a little bit of cinnamon allspice. Of course, I'm gonna put a little bit of cinnamon here in the mix too. That's gonna marinate your. That's where you're gonna marinate your apples into it. So we're gonna marinate a little bit, and you know.
So you cut your apples,
cut them, clean them, peel them,
and then you let them marinate with
a little bit of lemon juice,
okay,
a little bit of brown sugar, touch of salt, and vanilla extract.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm gonna peel the apples real quick. Should be quick, and so the next, and so I'm using the RoboCup to make the mix for the topping, and it's easy. If you don't, you can just you can still make it by hand. It's not a problem. And I like to take the skin out because I don't want to when you cook them, it's just the skin is not gonna taste good, and we're gonna top it with a nice vanilla ice cream.
Oh,
delicious! You know. I made that one.
It's all about temptation.
All about temptation. Yeah.
It's all about the extreme and excess of life.
Yeah.
But shouldn't we live in excess?
Yep.
Right. It's a great time to reflect.
So I think Jean-Charles wants to peel this up. You want to peel it like this?
Well,
look at that.
I think you're doing such a great job.
So that I like to use this, I like to put my apple like this. This is kind of a trick too. Like you flying, you use it like you're flying like that.
You're
just
flying
one
high.
time, all right? You lift up your wing and let's go. Like this, just simple.
Very
one.
nice movement.
See?
You look like a little chicken. Keep going.
So I'm using about five apples. This is gonna give us at least 4 ramekins.
Yes.
And then for this recipe, literally you can use it for anything. You can do pie crust, put it in, baked, and if you can do pot pastry.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice. But dessert's almost like a base. You use this as a base, not this part.
And then you create.
And then you just create whatever you want.
And you add some of your own personal idea.
Yep. So you gotta cut a little bit to the sides if you want. So you gotta be faster, Jean-Charles.
I'm with you. I'm watching.
Let's go.
Very impressive. I wish I could cut apples so fast.
I mean, it's easy, it's no problem. It's just.
But an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So when you have 5, you have 5 good days to come.
So this one, if you want to save some time, I just go around the apple and I use the heart. This is gonna take me time instead of be cutting and all that. So this is a trick. You put your apple cut the little size. So that's why I cut right here and right here. So this sits, and the next one just go, just right around. Just kind of feel it where you think it's gonna be the heart and the seeds.
Yeah.
And you take.
Because you definitely don't want this.
No, it's gonna save you time.
Are we gonna give that to the chickens?
So the chickens are compost. Right?
But I love the seeds though in the middle. Those are good to chew on.
They're a little slimy.
So this is organic flour. All purpose.
All purpose, yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're using.
Okay.
See the pieces? I don't need them. And now she's gonna slice them real quick. These ones.
That's the tough part. That's where a finger can go so quickly.
No.
You still have 14 fingers, huh?
Oh yeah, still.
He's lucky he was born with more than the average, so he could lose a few.
So by cutting is just like the feeling, right? It's just by the feeling. You don't have to look the knife. You just look at the camera.
Ah!
Right, that's it.
He's bleeding.
Yeah, so I'm in my last 3. And so in the next one, maybe Jean-Charles wants to put the flour in there.
Yeah, that I can do.
Yeah, put the flour in there. Everything that goes in, Jean-Charles.
He always exploits me. Have you noticed when I'm in the kitchen? So I delicately put it all around.
It's 500 grams of flour in there.
Wow.
So you do a lot of the top. If you have an extra, you can always, if you end up with some extra, you can always freeze it. I mean, it's fine, and they use it the next time you want to make.
What else do I put in?
Butter goes in.
Ooh, that's my favorite activity. One by one. Here it is. All right.
And then we're gonna be posting the recipe, of course. Brown sugar. Half of the brown sugar, a little bit of the half of the brown sugar.
Okay.
I'm gonna un poco más.
Un poco más. Sí. He's watching. I was hoping to minimize the sugar intake. It didn't work.
Touch of salt. So the salt's gonna balance.
Quite a bit. All of it?
It's just 12 grams, just a pinch.
A pinch. That's it?
Yeah.
Just a pinch.
Just a pinch.
I did 2 pinches because I
And
love
2
salt.
pinches of the cinnamon.
Aha. Mmm. Gorgeous cinnamon that we found at the Oakville grocery, right?
Yes.
In the fabulous spice department. We love it. And then a little almond, or we leave them?
The almonds we just kind of like fold it in. So
What
that-
about the oats?
oaks? They go in the end because you don't want to break them.
I
just want
see.
like a little nice kind of like
Ah.
chunks. A little bit of maple syrup.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Woo! This is a good one. I love it with the Côte d'Ivoire, but I think we're going to try it with Donnell cocktails too.
So this is where she's gonna pass it, put it up for like a minute, until you get like a good like a sand, you know, like
Yeah. That gooey.
like gooey. See that? That's what
Yeah.
you're looking for. See? It's nice and loose.
Oh, that's it, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Can I try it?
It takes like 2 seconds. So you're gonna be able to taste with the salt and everything.
Yeah.
So in the last second, you should start your almonds and your oaks.
Oh, so you add it at this stage?
Yeah, at this stage, because I'm not doing anything now.
All right.
What do you think about drinks? There was good sweetness in there? Good sweetness?
Yeah, it's tasting very well.
Okay, that's it. You
I
can
think
taste
it's
it, you
always.
show
Yeah,
it
I'm
today,
gonna.
it's nice and
I'm gonna show everyone how gorgeous it looks. I mean, look at this. You know. Mmm. And you know when it tastes so good this way, it's gonna taste good after. I love it, and
right.
yeah, I feel nicely the
You can
cinnamon.
have a little more batter and
Yeah.
then turn it into cookies. Just brown and put them in there.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes.
But I think we did well on the butter. And I need to tell you, I'm still on the Côte d'Ivoire. Mmm.
So now for the apples, I'm gonna put some brown sugar. Brown sugar. I'm gonna do some allspice. Where's the double my
Can you believe that the Pope, for almost 70 years, lived in the beautiful town of Orange, and the Cité of the Pope, that's the name, Cité des Papes, and this is where this one is from. So when you think about that, it was very interesting to have so much spirituality in the Rhône Valley. This is why those wines are very Roman influence in a way, because the Roman as well played a big role in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th century. And it's a marvelous region as well. So if you haven't been to the Rhône Valley, you come to see us in Burgundy, you go to Lyon, the capital of food, where Rafael trained as well. And then you go down the Rhône on this beautiful boat, and then you arrive in this town and you discover the Côte d'Ivoire, the Châteauneuf-du-Pape, the Gigondas, the Vaqueras, all of that. All right.
So this is the thing. It looks like it needs a little more brown sugar. So you coat them nice and brown sugar, marinate a little bit. I added 1 lemon just to get like a nice acid to it, because they're gonna balance out with the caramels, releasing all the juices, natural flavor from there. And of course, if you want to put a little bit of crumbs in there, oopsie.
So you're gonna mix it together.
No, it's just a little bit. You don't
Just
want a
a
little
little
bit, yeah. Just a little
Okay.
bit, you know, just like that. And that goes into.
And you're not tasting just in case? Or you
no.
trust my
I got
judgment?
it. I got it. There you go.
There's enough caramel in it?
Combines with the lemon,
Yeah.
which is perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
I think with it.
Right?
Very nice.
And this one, like, they're a little dry, but they're gonna release so much water, you know?
Yeah.
So that goes in. I'm just gonna make 4 or 5. I mean, you can make it how whatever you want, like decorate your ramekin however you want. I'm not putting anything. Let's put it with butter or not.
So as Rafael is doing it, I think there's another wine that is really worth pairing with this amazing dish, Rafael. It's where the Gravenstein apple, not the Granny Smith, but the Gravenstein apple are really blossoming in the heart of Sonoma. This is our DeLoach estate. This is our California Pinot. And this is where really Pinot started, at DeLoach. Can you believe in the late 1960s, the DeLoach family were very entrepreneurial to plant in this cool climate region. And this is our California, which is a blend of not only Russian River, Sonoma, but California at large, including Central Coast. And this is a fantastic wine. This is your equivalent of your Burgundy Pinot, but from California. And this is really a benchmark. And this is one of the wines you want to have part of your wine cellar at home. Really delightful, very fruit forward, not expensive, so you should buy it by the case and really enjoy it. And as you cook, it's a lighter wine in terms of texture, as you can see the color. And it's something I really personally highly recommend. In the 2019 vintage, Brian Maloney, our director of winemaking, did an incredible job. Those are open top fermenters, long fermentation program, physical pigeage, and here it is for you. So very similar to what Rafael is doing with the pastry or the crumbling. How do we call this?
That's a topping, crumble, kind of stuff.
He's doing the same thing with the grapes.
You know. So this will see like I said, this is the consistency you're looking for. It's nice and loose, and if it gets turned to be a little wet, you can add a little bit more flour in it. But that one's just the way I want it. This deliciousness. All right. So now we're just gonna top them.
So you don't put that much of it, in fact, huh?
No.
So it's really all about the apples.
Yeah.
You've added, of course,
a little bit of butter, so we get like caramel, you know. So that's
the temptation.
Temptation. And then we'll do the next one.
What a beautiful.
And then that's it. And these are they're gonna go.
Is that an American recipe originally?
They're coming from Pakistan. Or where's that? From where's that?
No, that was the apple. What about this?
That's American.
The apple, Kazakhstan.
Yeah, the Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna. I have some other ones that
you've already pre-made. Huh?
Baked.
So this is what it's going to look like. And now, dear friends, the moment of truth. We are how many minutes later?
Those are at least 25 minutes at 350 degrees.
Ah.
Yeah. And we're gonna plate.
So it doesn't take that long to prepare this recipe.
No, this is quick. It's quick. I make about 150 last week for a party we did.
Wonderful. Well, this is something people with large families can do. And
ooh, they're hot. Forgot my towel. Always work with a towel, Jean-Charles.
yeah. Well, my hands are so sensitive anyhow. I want to keep them very delicate for all kinds of
And I'm gonna
reasons.
top them with some.
They have to stay
my
soft.
favorite thing ever.
Aha! I know there's a little vanilla ice cream that you've made.
Yes, sir.
So homemade, huh?
Yes, homemade ice cream.
Wow.
Vanilla ice cream.
Dear friends, look at this. Another fabulous feast with Rafael in the Raymond kitchen. Wow, that's a generous scoop.
Yes.
I think that's going to be for Julia. She loves desserts and caramel and apple and vanilla.
What a great dishes we did today.
Yeah.
It was nice. The cocktail.
Very exciting. And you went the whole way, the whole process. I think I can manage that recipe.
You can do that, right? Not like the holidays? How many times you screwed up?
The hollandaise sauce, do you remember? So, dear friends, look at perfection. I mean, Rafael is perfection, we know that. But that dish as well, isn't it marvelous, magnificent, and beautiful? Rafael, do you want to taste and tell us what you think?
Go.
You're going to have to. Unless we bring back Donnell to taste it. I think, Donnell, why don't you come and taste?
We should do the taste it with the cocktail. See,
That's right. So, Donnell, come and show us, teach us, tell us. Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Donnell is back. Look at
I
that.
want that again. Now that we made
Wow.
it right.
That's the first one or the second
That's
one?
the second one.
Donnell is trying the moment of vérité, of truth. She's a big apple eater and ice cream.
How's the taste?
It's wonderful.
Does it pass the test?
It's delicious. The ice cream is delicious too, but the apples are amazing. I like the crumbs on the top.
Yeah, right. It makes a difference. The crunchiness and.
So this was your glass, Rafael.
Oh, gracias.
So shall we try it with? I'm gonna try it just to give you my last comment on this without the ice cream.
Delicious.
Really delicious. And the beauty is there's not a ton to chew. And there's, literally all those flavors melting on your tongue. And now I'm going to do what everybody wants to do.
That is good.
Wow. This is actually a miracle.
Dessert cocktail.
This is a miracle. So 2 cocktails with Donnell. A fabulous.
Apple crisp.
And then Côtes du Rhône. So we traveled around the world, went to France, and of course the DeLoach Pinot. Dear friends, as Adam and Eve would say, we are close to heaven. If not, we are heaven on earth.